Today I'm going to show you guys which fonts you should and shouldn't use for a more professional look for your bulletins or signs or really anything that you're going to create. So over here on the do side we have a bunch of fonts that are really nice fonts that you can use, and they're not too overly used and they're very professional looking, easy to read. Over here in the don't section we have a bunch of fonts that are very overused and just very unprofessional looking, especially Comic Sans. It's used in a lot of things that pertain to kids ministry or kids in general, but really you could use any of these scripts or even any of these fonts and they still will get the same feel. It doesn't have to be so kiddish for it to get the message across. The ones in the don't side, these are all fonts that Scribus has in its collection. These down here are other fonts that you want to stay away from. They aren't in my Scribus list of fonts. So if you go here to text and you look through these, none of these 5 down here are in here, but they are fonts that you want to stay away from. They're just very unprofessional and just very overused. But for our do section, all of these fonts I got off of Google Fonts. They're all free fonts, and the really good thing about them is that most of them have what's called a font family. So if you click in there and you go to text and you scroll down, see this one only has a regular font. That's all the options that it has. But with Lato, if we go to that font and you scroll down, you have different fonts that you can use. You can bold them. It can be Hairline, which is a really thin font, a light font, a regular one, a black font. As you can see, I just made that O black instead of regular, and it just is more bold. So instead of using Impact, we can go into one of these fonts if we want a really bold font and bold it and get the same kind of effect without being so overused or so in your face as Impact is. And that's the same goes for any of these fonts. We can still get the effect that we want. If you want a handwritten scripty thing, we can go over here to Satisfy or Dancing Script, and those are a better alternative to some of the other scripts that are just so overused. So next time you're picking out a font, I would use one of these or go onto Google Fonts. So as you can see, there's a bunch of different fonts that you can choose from, and now some of these I wouldn't choose. Like this one right here is kind of like Impact, and it's very bold and in your face. You just have to think back to these fonts over here and the look and the feel of them. Try to find that in Google Fonts. And so over here in the corner, we can uncheck these and we have handwriting fonts, which are our scripts. Now, this one over here probably wouldn't choose. It does still look a little kid, amateur looking. Same with Gloria Hallelujah. But these other fonts here, and some of these fonts are on the do list, they are very nice fonts that you could use. You just have to kind of look through and compare the fonts that I showed you here to the ones that you want to use. But this is a very good beginning place, and it will help your bulletins and your signs look a lot neater, cleaner, and professional.